What's going on, guys? Back today with one I think you'll enjoy. We're talking about none other than the Magnum Research Desert Eagle 50 AE stainless steel. All right, guys, look, if you follow me on Instagram, you see me post a bunch about the polished chrome Desert Eagle I have in 50 AE, but now we got just the straight up stainless built-in comp and the rails on top and bottom. This one is the one that you shoot. This is the one that is the rugged one that is built like a tank, that's gonna go through anything. And I feel like, you know, obviously the aesthetics of the comp and the rail give it that more aggressive look, that more just in your face tank, like boom, 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 right? So let's just shoot a little bit today. These are always fun to shoot, especially in 50 AE, the big boy. Let's have a little fun, let's shoot it. Maybe we'll throw some optics on. All right, so today I'm gonna be shooting some Magnum Research branded stuff, 350 grains. See how it goes. And I'll say, I never thought the 50 AE was, you know, incredibly potent. I mean, it's definitely hot, but you know, shooting the 45-70 revolver that I have from BFR, anything is tame compared to that. And then also like the Smith & Wesson 500, you know, those two guns really pack a wallop. So if you've shot those, a 50 AE feels quite manageable. Don't get me wrong, it still punches, but it's just more manageable. I'm just used to that bigger thumping round with that rifle round, the 45-70 from the BFR. But this is fun to shoot. This is what you call an obnoxious optic on what some would say an obnoxious gun. It's big, the gun is big, everything about it is big. This is the biggest optic I have that I wasn't using on anything else. So I figured, let's throw it on, let's have a little fun. It's not sighted in, I'm just shooting into the backstop, so I'm not trying to be accurate with it. But this whole setup just reminds you of something you would see in some old movie, some big old red dot laser thing on like some big old revolver or something. It's just very cool looking, certainly not practical. But let's give this a try and see if it helps with the recoil at all. You know, I gotta say, I don't think that it definitely felt a little more tame than just the first time here a minute ago. That extra weight on the front helping keeping it down. It still packs a punch. I mean, it's still gonna recoil no matter what you do to this thing. Even though it has the ports, it's still gonna pack a punch in 50 AE. But man, I love shooting these things because they're just so cool. If you ever get a chance, even if you're at a shop that has them to rent, go out and rent it and just shoot it. Have some fun because it's certainly an iconic gun and just a blast to shoot. All right, so this time let's try an optic that's a little more manageable and a little more realistic to put on a handgun. What I got here is a primary arms, you know, whatever optic. This is one of their cheaper versions that come with the pick rear. I'm not even sure which version it is, doesn't really matter. I'm putting it on this gun, and this is where it's gonna stay. This is something I'm not gonna shoot all the time, but I think it's cool to have an optic on it, so don't spend a bunch of money on like some crazy expensive optic for something that I'm really not gonna shoot a lot, but cool factor to have is there. So went with something that was manageable, something that's cheap enough to make it worth it just to have and shoot. So I'm not really sure, just off camera when I put this on, wasn't really sure if I should mount it more towards the back or more towards the front or more towards the middle. I thought it kind of looked cooler more towards the front, but I don't know, it really didn't make sense. I mean, either way though, with this optic, it didn't make a difference in the sight picture too much. I mean, it's just like a couple inches forward or back, so I'm still getting the dot. It's not like I was losing a field of view or anything, so it's really just kind of preference as to where this is going to end up. Later on, I might move it in the middle or further down, but for right now, we'll put it here. So I think it looks pretty cool. Have a little red dot on this thing. I mean, why not? If you're gonna do it big. That'll look good. I'll tell you, it's certainly not as tame as with the big old UH1 from Vortex on here. Definitely felt more recoil with this little guy because it's basically like there's nothing on there anyway. But still a cool gun. You saw I did get a failure to feed on the second round of this round. People have said that these are jam-o-matics, right? They jam a lot. This is actually the first jam I've had with a Desert Eagle. I've shot my polished chrome version a bunch. I don't shoot it much because I keep it pretty, but I've actually never had a jam with that. Now, mind you, this is first shots with this gun also, so I just got this in like a week ago, haven't had a chance to shoot it. So I would say it's not uncommon sometimes for pistols to jam when they're brand new. The springs are tight, the magazines need to be broken in, the gun itself, the recoil springs, everything's still factory fresh and new. So not saying that it's acceptable really for most people, or for some people that say like everything should just run out of the box. But again, this is not a gun that I'm gonna carry. This is a gun I'm gonna have fun with. And that one failure to feed because the round didn't pop up in the mag, not a big deal to me. Let's run some more, see if it happens again. All right, guys, I got 6 rounds left in this box. Let's just do it, call it a day. As always, thanks for watching. Don't forget Steve MP5 on the Instagrams. I'll see you next time. All right, as you can see here, the flat nose of these rounds just do not want to feed well. So that's the second failure to feed out of these rounds in this gun. So it just seems like the gun does not like these flat noses. Out of my polished chrome, I've shot a bunch of standard FMJs and jacketed hollow points that are similarly shaped, but not as flat, I don't think. I've never had a problem feeding. I've never actually had that problem with one of these guns. So I'm gonna say, just tentatively now, without having any more rounds handy, I just don't think that this gun likes these particular rounds.